Hey everybody, it's Tony. This video is not a prepping video or a day in the life of or anything. This video, guys, is an explanatory video to explain to you all why I've been out of touch for about a month and a half. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to give you the short and quick of it. If I were to break it down event by event, I'd be here. This would be a 30-minute video. Some of you guys are into 30-minute videos. I know I like long format videos from the content creators that I follow. I do enjoy long format personally, but I'll try to make it quick because it can be quick and boring. I mean, long and boring isn't good either. So I don't want to bore anybody. So this is what happened. The last video, 2 videos that I released were shot on the same night. It was a Tuesday night, January 16th, 17th-ish, around there. It was a Tuesday night. I was making pizzas, and as I was making pizzas, I said, the girls aren't feeling good. They really want Dad's pepperoni pizza. So I got home. They really weren't feeling good. Neither was my wife. Turned out they were all 3 of them were COVID positive. They got tested twice. The first one was the instant test. The second one was the one where you wait 48 hours. It's more accurate, reliable. So they got both of those tests done both ways. I was taking care of them, so we started Wednesday, which is my regular day off. I started Wednesday taking care of them. Thursday, Friday I started feeling like a little funny. Now I was doing elderberry, vitamin D, D3, a multivitamin, high, dosages of zinc and vitamin C, just to, what everybody knows, to do. And I was doing tea and ginger and whatnot. Anyway, so Friday night I started feeling a little funky. I'm like, oh shit, I hope I don't get sick. Saturday I woke up feeling like I wanted to blow my brains out. It was so bad. And now, mind you, my wife is sick this entire time. But now you guys know how women are and how men are when they get sick. Women are way stronger, not just in being sick, in almost every aspect except, just physical brute strength. Every other way that you can be strong versus weak, women take it. Women are stronger than men. Spiritually, mentally, some forms of physically too, like pain thresholds and things like that, and giving birth, and just their. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So this poor woman, she couldn't even have more than 3-4 days of bed rest, and she was messed up. She was really bad, in bad shape. So Saturday I go down. Saturday until Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, I was in bed, could not even, I barely got out of bed. Like, it was torture and I just got out just to use the bathroom. My wife was bringing me food to my bed, and I would just sit up, kind of like sit over on the edge of the bed with the nightstand or something, and take a few bites of what I could. I wasn't going downstairs to eat or nothing. But about 4 or 5 days after that, my mother shows up to my house one night. It was 10:30. It was 10 o'clock at night. About 10 o'clock, they closed down the shop. So my sister and my mom are taking care of the shop, and out of worry for her boy, and she was corresponding, talking with my wife, and how is he, this and now I'm not taking anybody's phone calls, not my mother's, no text messages. The mayor, my dear friend, the mayor of our city that the shop is in, he texted me 3 times. One day he texted me twice, and the next day he texted me again, and I still haven't responded to him till this day. And we're close. I've got cousins, family members that texted me, that called me. I got older cousins that I can't just not pick up, and not have a good excuse. If I don't pick up, I better call them back quick and be like, yo, cuz, I'm sorry, I was doing this or that. I've got cousins like that called me that I still haven't called back. Honest to God, I wasn't texting, I wasn't on social media, I wasn't doing nothing with nobody really. I was just out of it. And not just for that first week. Anyway, let me go back to my mom showing up. So my mom shows up, she's like, come on, get up, you gotta go to the hospital, you have to. I'm like, no, just let me die, just let me lay here. So you can't lay here no more, God forbid, think about your kids, something, like get up, let them look at you, let them, whatever. So my wife, brings me sweats and a pair of sweats, and she puts socks on me, God bless her, she puts socks on me and brings my jacket. We get up, she had the car already started, nice and warm. So we get in the car, she brings me to the ER. So we get in the ER, they lay me down, they did a couple of tests, they did a COVID test, they did the instant one, which came up positive, and they did a couple other tests. So I had pneumonia, like severe pneumonia is what they said in the ER. So they give me a room. They said, we're admitting you, we're not letting you go. They give me a room upstairs. I got there around 11 o'clock at night, and by, I don't know, it was 2 something a.m. I had my own room. So I guess that's not too bad. And they kept me comfortable. But once I got my own room, I would have rather stayed in the ER, because once I got my own room, that's when things kind of got stupid. I don't know. The food was horrible. Let's just start with that. It was the most disgusting, inedible garbage. It was like pig slop, like what you feed the pigs, or dogs would have needed. Believe me, dogs would have needed this food they had there. So I got COVID, I got pneumonia, my lungs are really, really bad. I got glass lung. So they start me on this thing, I don't remember the name of the medicine, but it was in the IV. They put it in the IV, so I would get it intravenously. And then every day they would put a shot in my stomach. Like the little nurse lady would come up and like pinch my stomach fat like this and just stick. Sorry, I gotta drive. Stick the needle in there, and it hurt. And needles usually don't bother me, and that didn't bother me either. But it hurt. For a needle, needles usually don't hurt, but this one hurt. She stuck it in my stomach, and then every day they did it, they would like explain to me what it was for. Like, okay, it's okay, go ahead. I'm used to it. I would just pull up my gown and they would be like, it's so you don't get a blood. So it was so you don't get a blood clot from laying down. Supposedly people get blood clots. I think it's for older people mostly. So they're giving me that shot. They were giving me the antiviral. Anyway, I stayed in the hospital 5 days. They let me go. When they let me go, they gave me a prescription. They were like, where do you want us to send you a prescription? They sent me a prescription of vitamin C and a steroid pill. The steroid pill was for my lungs, supposedly. That's what they said, because my lungs were still, they were going to take some time to heal. It was 5 days worth of steroids, these tiny little blue pills. took them for 5 days straight, and I still felt horrible. 5 days in the hospital, 5 days of steroids at home, still feel like death. Really, really bad. So we call somebody. We knew somebody that could hook us up with some antibiotics. So I'm not gonna mention this person or that or what relation they are to me or my wife. They have some form of job where they can write prescriptions, but I wasn't there. I didn't show up for the prescription, but they still, they did whatever. I got a 5-day Z-Pack. It's like Zithro something. It's for, your flu, your cold, whatever. It's an antibiotic. It's a good, strong antibiotic. They have a 3-day one and they have a 5-day one. He gave me the 5-day one because he said and he asked my wife, because she was looking at my discharge papers. You fucking stupid. Move your ass. She was looking at my discharge papers and like talking to him one day as I'm in and out, I kind of hear her, and she was like, no, they didn't even give him, whatever he was asking. She's like, no, they didn't give him anything like that. So I guess he asked, like, did he get any kind of antibiotics at all? So I got another cousin, my dad's sister's daughter. She's got some sort of medical training because she's a school nurse, like a legitimate school nurse, and she went to she's got some schooling. She's a smart chick. Anyway, she called too. She called my wife. People stopped calling me after like a few weeks. They were like, "Nah, this guy's not picking up. He's donezo." So she spoke to him too, and she was even like, "What'd they give him? Like, did they, this and this and this?" She would be like, she memorized it by then, so she would like, no antibiotics. I said no. Like, wow, surprising, because anyway, COVID hits everybody different, guys. Everybody reacts to it different. My kids were fine in 2 days. They were back to normal, 100%. My wife, she was bad for a couple of weeks. Like I said, when I got it, she had no choice but to be caretaker, or else we were all going. The whole ship was gonna sink. When I went down, she had to jump up and grab the reins. Anyway, I took the 5 days of the Z-Pack. That was the drug that I would say I noticed the impact of. Everything else, I wasn't really. I mean, sure, it could have still, it was probably still doing its job and whatever. But when I took the Z-Pack on like day 2, I was like, oh, it could have been just my mind or whatever, but I felt like, all right, like this stuff is working a little bit. So that was nice. I took that for 5 days, but I'm still not 100% after 5 days of that. I'm still in bed. I still can't really exert myself because my lungs were probably the worst. I had no breath. I was very, very short of breath. I was very, very weak. I couldn't stay up. I couldn't keep myself up standing. Just the muscle and energy, whatever that you need just to stand there. I didn't have it for a month or more. And just as I started getting better and started driving, I drove a couple times. I started doing a little, and then and the snow, all the snow that was coming down, we had the Snowmageddon. My neighbor, God bless him, he cleaned, and I have a corner house, a lot of sidewalk. He cleaned all the sidewalk. He did my driveway. He did the little like walk from the driveway to the back door. He did the walk from the front sidewalk to the front door for the mailman, the Amazon man, whatever. He cleaned everything several times. We got a lot of snow in North Jersey, as did everybody, I hear. I was not on YouTube. I was incapable of, doing anything. No news, no, none of the rundown, none of the what's going on in the world. Watching my usual channels or my usual sources. So now, let's say about 2 weeks ago, I start feeling like a man again. And then, out of nowhere, I wake up one morning, my feet are swollen. My feet are swollen and black and blue. Okay? They're swollen so fat that you can call them like engorged. Not even swollen, they're engorged. It was so disgusting and so fiendishly horrible that it looked like it was out of a horror movie. It looked like a prop. My feet looked like props, like Halloween props. That's how nasty. And it was out of nowhere. It wasn't a gradual downward spiral and my feet are starting to swell. Oh no, a couple of days of this, and no. It went from perfectly fine and normal one day. The next day, boom, this is what happened. I don't know what it was. If I had to take a guess, I would say, sorry, I'm getting all these text messages. I would say I think I was taking too much Advil and Tylenol. I was taking a good amount of Advil and Tylenol, much more than the daily recommended, the maximum dosage. I was taking thousands of milligrams a day. Oh Lord, I was probably taking, they're 500 milligram pills each. I was taking 2,000 milligrams at a time, about 3 to 4 times a day. And this went on for a while. So I think I might have messed something up. Anyway, when that happens, we get scared, whatever. We call my primary. They don't want to see me because I'm COVID positive. I'm tested COVID positive previously. Now my doctor doesn't want to see me. We did a tele thing with the Zoom. They look at my feet. They said go back to the ER. Let them check you out for blood clots, because COVID does cause blood clots. It is statistics show that a lot of people get blood clots in the lungs, or in your case could be in your feet. She's like, I'm very worried about you. She's like, please go there immediately, as soon as possible. So I went to the ER. I told them, they said, what's bothering you? I said, my feet are, swollen and they're black and blue and it hurts and it's horrible. And I talked to my doctor and they said, I might have a blood clot. Please, check it out. So they said, all right, whatever. They brought me in. They admitted me to admitted me upstairs, but when they bring you in, the nurse talks to you, gets your info down, and we did all that. They get me on a stretcher or a bed. Then the doctor comes to see me. When the doctor came, the doctor took a vial of blood and said that we're going to check you for blood clots now. And he walked out. He comes back. He said, "You're good. You don't have any blood clots." I said, "What? Would you guys didn't scan me or anything? There's no, CAT scans or whatever that we were gonna do." Let me just park. So what they do is now for blood clots, they got this technology, I guess. They run your blood through a computer or some machine, I don't know. And if it shows traces of something or another, or if it has a specific consistency, I don't know. That means you have a blood clot. You're in the early signs of a blood clot, something. Then they take you in for the scan. They take next step measures. But I didn't. My blood came back blood clot free, like it was clean. It didn't show any signs of blood clots. So they said, you're good to go. Take off our gown, put your clothes back on, and vacate these premises, good sir. So I did. And I went home. My wife's like, what'd they say? I said, I don't have a blood clot. They said, did they scan you? I said, no. They did this thing where they took a vial of blood and they ran it through their computers or whatever. They tested it, and blood clots come up. They must excrete some sort of thing into your blood, the clottiness. I don't know. So she was a little baffled. Like, okay. Next day, talked to get back on the Zoom meeting with the primary. Told them exactly what I told you. Explained the whole situation. And then she was like, can I see your feet again? Showed her my feet. She's like, no. She's like, they were supposed to ultrasound your feet. And she's like, she's very happy, but not with me. She's upset with the hospital. So what she did is she's like, I'm going to write a prescription, send it to the hospital, and I'm going to mark it stat, where I'm sure you all know what stat means, like ASAP, emergency, like gotta be done right now. So the next morning I wake up and I call the radiology department of the hospital to get an appointment for my an ultrasound for my feet. And I did, and I went. I got the ultrasound, came back clean. They came back negative, so no blood clots. Then the doctor was like, "Listen, I suggest you follow up with a cardiologist because COVID statistics show COVID has affected people's organs, permanently, mostly heart and lungs." My lungs, I feel like, still are not even close to being 100%. I would say I'm probably 60% of what I was, lungs wise. Okay, but that's I'm still gonna see a doctor about that. I'm just doing the heart right now. So this past week, I seen a cardiologist. We did 3 things. First thing, I went to the cardiologist, got an EKG. Saw the cardiologist himself. He's actually my dad's cardiologist, so he came highly recommended. He's board certified, amazing guy, really good guy, very great personality. His office was packed, so that's a good sign. He's a good doctor. He talked to me. He said, "Listen, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. If it's your heart," he says, "I'm gonna, we'll take care of it." So he wrote me a script to go get blood work done. But on the blood work, he wrote about 8 different things. So when you go to LabCorp or the other place, I forgot the name, and what they do, whatever the doctor wants, that's what these people, when they take your blood or your urine, they test it for. They do specific tests on it. So he filled the whole script up like that. He wrote like almost 10 things were written on there. So once I got there, they handed me a cup. They said, "We need a urine specimen," and then they took a blood specimen, and they said, "All right, go ahead." So I did that. Then the next day, I had another appointment, a second appointment with the cardiologist. They did what's it called? Oh God, I just got one done on my legs the week before. The ultrasound. They did an ultrasound on my heart. Okay, a tech did it. One of his techs, a technician, not the doctor himself. I didn't even see the doctor on my second visit, and I'm yet to hear from him. So that was Thursday where I got the. So we're on. Today's Sunday. So obviously he's not going to call me today, but hopefully tomorrow he'll call me. We'll have some news. So that's where I am. Guys, I swear to God, I just started showering normal and like being able to drive a car, I don't know, 10 days ago. You know, I'm still in a daze, in a different world. I have not been back to work since I made those pizzas, that pepperoni pizza and the grandma pizza. That was my last minutes in the shop. I have not been back since. I am extremely sick. COVID-19 has kicked the shit out of me. COVID-19 has ravaged me. Something like, I mean, ravaged me like a silverback gorilla. Okay? Just tore me up. But here I am. I guess God spared me. Thank you, God. I'm still here. So I've been eating better. Okay. It's not diabetes, guys. The feet thing. It's not diabetes. Because we checked the glucose levels, the blood from the hospital, my stay in the hospital. When they discharge you, they give you your papers that had, showed all the numbers of everything, and my blood work was in there too. And my wife read it, and she was actually kind of surprised. She said, "You are like near perfect in everything, blood pressure, your blood work." All the stuff, she went over. She says, "You have very good, numbers and ratings and whatever." So that's it. But that's actually, no, that's not it. Today's Sunday. Wednesday of this week, my son Sammy, my 9-month-old, he suffered a seizure in the afternoon, out of the blue, out of nowhere. Has no history of it. Has no, has not been nothing to associate it with. He doesn't have a condition where we can say, "Oh, this is, he had the seizure because of this." I don't know. He just had a seizure, and it was a seizure. It was not a seizure as like mainstream seizure, like with the convulsions and loss of yourself, where you fall down. It wasn't like that. It was like a silent seizure. And these are supposedly way more, like scary for family members and whatnot, because you don't know when your kid or your loved one or whatever's having a seizure. He just stared off into space, like he just zoned out, like, and then he is not recognizing anybody. Sammy, I got him. I picked him up. My wife had him, and then I took him. And he always smiles at me. Because when I have him, it's playtime. I'll always run and jump with him, and lay him on the bed, and I'll kiss his stomach, and I'll kiss him. And so every time I take him, he automatically, he knows it's playtime. So I had him, and I'm like, Sammy. He's just, and his eyes are dropping, his head's dropping. I said, my wife already was on 911. Cops got there. First cruiser shot up my front curb. 90 seconds. I'm not even exaggerating. That's the beautiful thing, I think, of living in the suburbs in a highly densely populated area. Our emergency services, fire, EMS, police, also snowplows, things like that, picking up the garbage, are better than rural areas. My in-laws, I'm speaking from what do you call it? Experience. My in-laws live in Pennsylvania. I forgot what county, but it's off 81. 81 goes all the way to West Virginia, and so that doesn't really. I don't know if you guys know where the Mohegan Sun is in Pennsylvania, the Mohegan Sun Casino and Hotel. This is not good for my lungs, I know, I take one puff, I don't know, every 60 minutes, 90 minutes. It's not like before. I have cut down tremendously. So anyway, in Pennsylvania, they have to get rid of their own garbage, or they have to pay a private company to come pick up the garbage, something like that. We just hit the 30-minute mark. So that's how I know. Anyway, somebody that I follow, one of my pals, not pals, we are not friends, we've never even corresponded, but somebody that I follow and I'm a fan of on YouTube, a content creator. Something happened with he had to call the police, and it took them almost 30 minutes to get there, and he's rural. 90 seconds, guys. Black Explorer, Ford Explorer, brand new, shiny. Blank police department. She jumps out. Awesome female cop. I mean, she was amazing woman. Boom, pops her thing, grabs her she was medical bag. She was gloved up, masked up, ready to rock. She comes in the house. We were already waiting at the front door. My wife was on the phone with 911 still, and she's like, okay, they're here. Then 911 hung up with her. The officer comes in. Starts asking questions. What happened? What led to this? Did he fall? Did he this? Boom. Second question, maybe third question later, another cop's walking through the door with a medical bag. And she starts talking to my wife. One's talking to me. One's talking to the wife. They are, Sammy. We're keeping him awake. We're kind of like rubbing his back, kind of, hey. When he starts, and he's not snapping out of it. He's sleepy, like he's got to go to sleep. He cannot keep his head up. He cannot keep his eyes open. It's so scary, guys. It was so scary. My wife was hysterical. Obviously, and then another 2 minutes later, an ambulance shows up, EMTs or EMSs, whatever. They come in, another ambulance shows up, so now we have 2 cop cars, 2 ambulances within 5 minutes in front of the house. So they take him. My wife ran, grabbed the blanket. We just, because it's cold, it's in the winter, so instead of putting a jacket and this, we just wrapped him in a nice fleece blanket, gave him to the ambulance, the EMT or whatever, EMS, I don't know what they're called. They took him. My wife rode in the ambulance with them. I got in my car. The officer said, can you just give them a 2-minute head start? It's not good to follow the ambulance, caravanning or car. Okay, so we ran out of recording time. It was 30-something minutes. Anyway, they're still at the hospital right now. That was Wednesday. Today is Sunday. They're still in the hospital. They got neurologists and different doctors. We took them to not the same hospital I went to for COVID. No. The hospital sucked. The first officer on site, she said, okay, what hospital are we going to? Would you like us to take him to? And I kind of froze. I was like, oh, there's too much pressure. I said, well, what do you recommend? Tell me, what's the best? She said, if it was my kid, 100%, so-and-so hospital. They got, within a 20-minute drive of my home, there are 6 to 8 hospitals, major hospitals, not clinics or medical centers. Full-blown big hospitals. So I didn't know which one to choose, but she told me, listen, this hospital has a very, very, very I don't know, what do you call it, designated pediatrics department with doctors for this sickness, that sickness, this sickness, that's it. All for pediatrics. They got their own. They do their studies and they do their tests and they do their medicine. Very involved, very big, very vast pediatrics department. She's like, if it was my kids, I would have the ambulance bring him there, no questions asked. And she said, and if whenever anything has happened to my kids, that's where I take them. So I said, all right, let's go. Thank you very much for that. We went there. They're still there. They've got wires and stuff hooked up to him. They're monitoring his brain waves, neurologists, and my wife has been there. Once I got there, I stayed there until the evening when they admitted him upstairs to the pediatric ICU. Once they did that, they said I can't be there because Sammy's COVID positive too. We didn't know. We had no idea. But they gave him a test as protocol, and he's positive. I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments talking about COVID, and guys, I'm still COVID positive. When I went for my thing, when I went for the foot, the first time for my foot to the ER, they COVID tested me, and I was still positive, and that was about I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. So a month or more, I still have COVID. It's horrible, guys. Don't get it. Do what you gotta do. Wear your gloves, wear your masks. Don't complain about it. Just wear the goddamn thing. Fuck it, if we gotta it's a control device, and a this and a that, and okay, maybe because they said that masks don't do anything, and they're worthless, don't wear them, and now they're saying you have to wear them, blah blah blah. I know all this. I was the biggest skeptic of COVID-19. I was one of the biggest skeptics of COVID-19. The things I thought about it, I would never say it out on YouTube, okay? Believe me. But I'm living proof. I promise you. Unless they lied to me and it was something else, but I was never sick like this before. I never felt the things in my body, like the way I felt, the way I was, it's not the flu. It's not the flu. Not for me anyway. Not for this guy. No way. It was not no goddamn flu. It was COVID freaking 19. And it is not a good time at all. But whatever. Forget my COVID-19. Forget my swollen legs. Sammy is my biggest concern now. All we can do is pray. I've been doing a lot of praying. My family has been praying, my parents, and just been praying for his recovery, and that he won't be permanently affected in a major traumatic way where it'll affect his life. That's the scariest thing. But have faith in God, I guess. We do. I have complete faith in God. He'll see us through this. But that's it. That's my explanation. That's what's been going on. I was not gonna make a video of you guys where I was like barely breathing and like a sick man, I just started getting better, and then the thing with the feet happened. And listen, when I tell you about those feet, now they're not as swollen as they were. They came down a little bit. The doctor put me on a diuretic or something medicine to excrete water. He says you're gonna urinate a lot, and I have been. Oh my God, I have to. When you gotta go, you gotta go. When you're taking these pills, you gotta go quick. Once you feel it, you got 30 seconds to get to the bathroom. You're gonna pee your pants. So yeah, that's what's going on. I started taking a couple of days ago. I started taking baby aspirin too. I didn't want to take it. I thought of taking it before I saw the cardiologist. I thought of taking it for circulatory things, but I said, okay, if I'm gonna see a cardiologist, let me not take the baby aspirin just yet. Let him see everything. Let him observe it the way it is naturally, without me fucking with it, like doing anything to it with aspirin, like reducing the swelling or reducing the anything like that. So I waited for him to do everything he got to do, which he did. So now I start taking two baby aspirins a day, 2 little 81 milligram coated, safety coated, low dose, and not Bayer either. Not Bayer. Bayer invented Agent Orange. You think I want to take something that the company, they invented Agent Orange? Yeah, I don't know if any of you knew that. Here's a fun fact for you. Bayer and Monsanto, back in the 60s or 70s, I don't know what year they created it for the Vietnam War, but Bayer and Monsanto are the ones that created Agent Orange, among many, many other wicked things, concoctions, creations in this world. Well, that's it, guys. That's my explanation. I will be back to making videos about prepping, my family, me. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm so sorry for not responding to people's comments. Guys, I was in a state of total weakness, and life was a blur. Life was miserable. It almost kind of still is. I just got well enough to make this video, so forgive me, please. And thank you to all of you that reached out in how could sorry, guys. Just being curious or concerned. Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? We hope you're okay. We hope your family's okay. I feel like a lot of people knew something wasn't right. A lot of people knew something wasn't right. And a lot of people left comments. I would get my phone would ding, because my phone doesn't always ding for when I receive a comment. It doesn't. I would get a ding. I would see that I got a comment, and sometimes that's it. I would end up falling back asleep, or anyway. I hope you guys never experience what I've been through. I wish you guys all the best of health. I wish your families all the best of health. I wish you all to stay healthy. May God keep you all healthy, safe, and sound, and happy, and wealthy, and all of the above. Okay? Problem-free, sickness-free. I love you guys. I've been thinking about you guys the last 2 months, believe me, and I'm happy to be back here making this 45-minute video. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make like a 15-minute video just explaining it real quick, but you know how I am. I just drank a Red Bull too, and that's what happens. I don't know, guys. I appreciate you all. That's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.